Well, hello there, YouTube. Thank you for visiting You Grow Ro. I'm Ro, and thank you so much for coming here. If this is your first time, I hope you'll consider subscribing at the end of this video. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming again. I appreciate you. Today I'm doing the follow-up video to my first video of me setting up and unboxing the Vitamix FoodCycler FC-50. This is my review after a very, very short amount of time, right? Like I only got this thing like 3-4 days ago. I've been running it once a day. I overestimated how much, happily overestimated how much food waste I have. I actually can't fill the thing in one day. So I am having to keep it on my counter in the collection bin, which works very well with that lid on it. I can't smell what I'm putting in there. I'll get into the review right after you check out my intro. So in case you don't know, the FoodCycler FC-50, which is the one that I have, and I have a video about me unboxing it and setting it up. I'll link that above right here. But if you didn't catch that one, real quick, the FoodCycler FC-50 is a compact food recycler that reduces food waste and eliminates food scrap odors, making it ideal for indoor use. This is straight off of their webpage. This is not me. The new carbon filter lid reduces odors, so you can store your scraps until the bucket is full without worrying about offensive smells. And quieter cycles means you can run it multiple times a day, year-round. It's convenient, compact, easy to use, odorless, and quiet. All right, so like I said in the intro, I have had this thing for, I don't know, a couple days now. And I've run it, I don't know, a handful of times at this point. So this is like super not official. This is just, I'm not even gonna call this a review. This is gonna be my Vitamix FoodCycler FC-50 wrap up. That's what we're gonna call it. But side note, whenever I was doing some research on this company for this video, I found out that Vitamix, made right here in Ohio, it's made in Olmsted Falls, which is like, from where I'm at, it's southeast of me, 45 minutes, give or take. I don't know, I just thought that was special. All right, so Vitamix, big claim is that it transforms food scraps into fertilizer and reduces your family's food waste. Off the rip, I'm going to say in terms of their claim, I agree 100%. I have a list here of 17 points to make. Some are good and some are bad. I think I'm going to start with the cons as opposed to the pros because there's less cons than there are pros. So first off, it's an investment. It's expensive, okay? Let me see. On the Vitamix website, as of yesterday is when I took these notes, with the 3-year full warranty, it is still at this point going for $399.95 on the Vitamix website. That's a $400 investment. And then if you start adding in how much it's going to cost for the additional filters, you're probably going to have to replace those once or twice a year, which are running $25. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, it's a hefty, it comes with a hefty tag, and that's not great. Coupled with that is, I'm going to tell you, nobody absolutely needs this thing. Nobody needs this. It's a luxury item. Okay, so paying $400 to basically have a precursor to compost is what it is really, it's a hefty price tag. Because when I think about it, and this is kind of what I had already started doing, I'm already going off script. Like, nobody needs this. Nobody needs this. Basically, what is happening with this system is that, I mean, from my understanding, is that this machine is going to go through a drying process, basically dehydrating it, and then it's going to go through a grinding process. Grinding, I think they're using very loosely because it is not a ground product. If you look at the end of the video that I did on the unboxing and the setup, and you saw me show you what one round of it looked like after it went through the whole process, it was fairly still big chunks and stuff. That wasn't ground at all. It was broken up, would be more the term that I would use than ground. But anyways, so it goes from drying to grinding, then to cooling, because they do heat it up, obviously. It is bigger and heavier than you think. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bro, I know you. You already watched 2,000 videos on this. You already did, read, I don't know, 1,500 blog posts about it, right? Because I've been looking at it for over a year. Just because I just bought it now doesn't mean this is just the first time I'm looking into it. No, I've been looking into this thing. And then it comes up all the time in my Facebook groups. But anyways, I've looked into this thing so much. And somehow, some way, I was still so surprised at how big this thing was, okay? Like, it's not small. I said in my previous video in the unboxing that it wasn't going to fit on my counter. And here's the thing. It could fit on my counter, but once I remove the lid, I won't have, my cabinets are so low that I wouldn't have space really to move my hand in and out to put the stuff in, and so it would be bad. But besides it being bigger, and I think what they said was it takes up 1 cubic foot of counter space. And if you have a compact kitchen, that is huge. That is huge. But like I said, it's also heavier than you would think. And here I have that it is, are you ready? 19 pounds. This thing is whisper quiet. I couldn't hear it. I mean, you could hear it. There's like a low hum maybe, but I put it directly catty-cornered of my couch with the pony wall that's blocking. Not even a pony wall. It's across from, it's in the dining room across from my couch in the living room, and it is no bother. The sound is not a problem at all. At all. It is very, very quiet. And there's no smell. Again, being that close to my living room, you would have thought I would have been able to smell it. I was down there for about, I would say 2 hours while it was processing in the beginning. I was down there and I was doing some stuff in the living room or whatever. So I was definitely in the vicinity while it was going through the drying process. And I couldn't smell anything discernible. I couldn't at all. So very quiet, and the odor is taken care of very well using those 2 carbon filters on the backside there. It was very easy to put together. You watched me do it in that video. It was nothing. It was, to say that you had to put it together would be a stretch. I mean, honestly, it was mostly just taking the plastic shipping pieces off of, and the stickers of parts that probably were moving and shipping and needed that. Otherwise, I think the whole thing would have came put together as it needed to be. It was super simple to put together. Excuse me. Very easy to use. You saw that. All I did, literally one button. One push of a button. That was it. And then the machine does the rest. Energy usage. So it's like 1 kilowatt. Let me see. On my paper here. Hold on. Okay, so this might be right. I looked at it and I for a second there I was like, what? I don't believe this. But then I just real quick. Energy usage. 1 kilowatt per hour per cycle. Is that what I'm seeing? And okay, so to put that in perspective, if this is correct, I had to look it up because I don't actually know. I'm terrible at this. I went to my energy supplier's website. I looked at a bill to see how much I pay per kilowatt, and I pay 5.71 cents per kilowatt, which means per cycle. If I were to do that twice a day, and we're talking about the month of February, and I do that for 20 days, twice a day, that would come to $2.40 to run that machine for an entire month. That's less than $5. But that's only if I'm doing the math right, and I'm sure somebody's going to look it up. But I think I double checked it twice, if I'm understanding it correctly. And then I pulled this up just to be sure. And it says each cycle consumes less than 1 kilowatt, approximately 0.8 kilowatts, equivalent to having a desktop computer for the same amount of time as the cycle. Dependent on where you live, each cycle should not cost you more than a couple cents. Even if I'm wrong, what if it's double that? So then fine, it is $4.80 to run it per month. I don't think that's a bad investment. All right, next pro. Now this is something that I don't do with my composting. You can put meat, fish, poultry scraps, chicken, turkey and fish bones, cheese, pet food, most food and veggie scraps, even coffee filters and the tea bags. So that's pretty cool. I'm getting parched. That's because you talk too much, Ro. You basically end up with a garden-ready soil amendment that you let rest in the soil for 1 to 4 weeks before you start planting in it, ideally. Another positive. For half a gallon bin of food scraps, you get about a cup of fertilizer. And I found that to be true. At the end of my unboxing and setup video, I show you how much I got out of that batch that I did on screen for, to show you guys how it worked. So if you did the math on that, it would probably add up to, it's somewhere in there, give or take, with a cup of fertilizer. And that's awesome, right? I'm going to be collecting all of this over the course of, from here on out, the winter until I can plant in the spring. So another positive, and we kind of already discussed this, but just not singularly. This can be used year-round, multiple times a day, and you can store your end product, which is your fertilizer, in an airtight container for up to a year before it starts going bad. A year! I mean, I can't imagine having that for a year. Yeah. But I'm a grower, right? I'm a gardener. I'm a grower. I have things going in the house. I have things going outside. I will always have a need for any kind of fertilizer, regardless of if it needs to break down for 1 to 4 weeks. Fertilizer will always have a place here, and it will always get gone through pretty quickly. But that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Cleanup is easy. Now, I don't have a dishwasher, but that collection bin where we were throwing all the scraps and stuff, that is dishwasher safe. So that makes it easy. For me, it's going to be kitchen sink soaker safe. And that's what we're going to do. But that is also easy in my eyes, because then when I go to wash it, it'll all be soaked off of there, and it'll just be a matter of, whatever. And finally, I wanted to point out that, because in my mind I was like, so I know I said that nobody needs this, but I can see some people wanting it and being able to have it supplementally. And really, I thought of myself, because I am a cold weather climate person, right? That's where I live at. And our winters are harsh. Our ground freezes, down. It's not like the surface. It's like frozen. And so I have issues with composting outdoors after a certain point in the winter. And so this gives me the opportunity to at least store what I would be throwing out there, and in a mostly composted form, right? Because it's not totally compost, but it's pretty broken down. And then be able to throw that out into, you know, my garden beds and my green stalks and all that stuff, and have it break down within weeks, right? And so not really missing a beat. That's huge for me. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Vitamix. That's my wrap up on the Vitamix FoodCycler FC-50. I am going to enjoy this thing. I still stand by what I said in the first video, that nobody absolutely needs this thing. I'm really glad that I made the investment, and I'm looking forward to continuing to use this for years to come, especially to see how my plants react to it this spring, summer, and fall. Well, this coming growing season. I'm excited to see how my plants react to this fertilizer. And for the time being, I can't see